Welcome back to HGC Korea, where headsets are lassos and
things are flying in front of heroes.
I don't know what's happening there, but everyone is back and ready for our second match now. Raven has to face off against a tough opponent here in Tempest, the number 3 seed going into Eastern Clash, and very much speculated to be and hyped to be the 3rd seed going into BlizzCon as well.
Yep, and Tempest, after defeating Mighty, which was one of the biggest match for them, I think after that match they were a little bit relieved that they're secured a spot. Still, they have to play during the playoff, and really feel like they will become the final boss of the playoff. There will be lots of other teams competing to go to BlizzCon. Of course, it's not secured yet, even for MVP Black or L5, but seems like we're going towards that direction with top 3 Black, L5, and Tempest.
Teams are going to have to break the expectations, break the kind of chain of where everyone looks. It feels like with all the 3-0s we've had this tournament so far, it feels like it's very much set in stone that each team is exactly where they're supposed to be. Like, 1 is way better than 2, 2 is way better than 3, 3 is way better than 4 is like kind of the set that we have so far with all these 3-0s coming in. Does anyone expect Raven to defeat Tempest here? No, but taking a map or 2 could change things. Obviously, Mighty losing to Tempest meant that their chances of at least having a better seed going into playoffs were very low. But, you know, if maybe other teams take maps off of Tempest, it could change the sphere. Raven hasn't been taking maps off of a whole lot of anybody as of late, but they showed us some of their best games ever yesterday, and their game on Cursed Hollow especially was the one that was the big standout.
Their team fight mechanics and the teamwork was there for, I wouldn't say for the first time, but it was a lot better than what we've been seeing so far
above
from Raven.
Average for them.
And what I'm excited about, this game will be the last Korean one in this current patch with the Garage, but next week, even the L5 and Black, if they do not adjust to the new meta, adjust to the new drafting style and which heroes are the best in the new meta, then they can also fall down. That will be the exciting news that's going to come up in the next weekend. Even Raven, if they pick up perfectly on the new meta, if they slowly start to climb up, I think it's a possibility that there will be a change in the standings. We're just talking like, oh, it will be top 3, L5, Black, and Tempest. No, I think there will be lots of changes, even like Blossom having creative strategies that can work a lot better in the new meta. I'm excited to see it next week.
Yeah, same. So we're not there yet, and we're definitely experiencing the new Garage meta. There's not really a whole lot of Garage in our first series tonight, but he has been at near 100% involve rate otherwise and has been picked by the Western regions as well. We'll see if tonight he makes more appearances in this series. I think we will see him a lot. I think that Tempest likes to play him, and I do think that Raven will try to grab him if possible if he isn't banned in draft. We saw a lot of Genji in the last series because Garage was banned early on. Which meant that Genji was left available. Ariel hasn't seen a game yet today, but very high chance that she will be permabanned for the remainder of these next 3 to 5 games. Next week, though, next week is when Ariel is going to disappear like a magic trick.
Not totally disappear. I still see her a lot in Hero League, but not as often. Never a ban card for Ariel, unless the opponent already has like a Tastar and Vala together. Of course, that's obvious, but it'll be a lot less for sure in the coming weeks. Also, Uther, that armor nerf coming in, I think it's a very big one.
All right, so here we go. We're going to talk about Raven. Remember, we asked the question yesterday when they played their matches, have they lost their way? Have they somehow just been unable to get it back together? Were we just going to watch this team go in this next wave 0-7 and just be at the bottom of the list yet again? Well, after what we saw yesterday, I think there's a possibility we have signs of life from this team. This looks to be a team that could maybe take games off of MVP Miracle. They showed good play against Blossom, but in their match today against Tempest, I think it's time to continue to improve the teamwork, work on coordination, the team fighting, and the drafting, and try to take today as a learning experience.
And that's what they do oftentimes. Starting from the draft, opponents has been target banning Chomes, Uther. Chomes lots of support roles because he has been picking lots of Regars, lots of Uther especially. Once that was out, started from the support. They could not really have the strong support. They can't really do double support because no one else really is dedicated to any other support role. There were lots of mistakes, and oftentimes Hamlet was cut off several times for mispositioning often, even during the lane phase. So that will be the biggest problem if they can hold on to the late game. I think their team fighting potential was shown yesterday. I think they can do the similar things tonight.
Now, the Leoric play specifically on Tomb of the Spider Queen was one of the weak points for him, where we saw many times they were able to get some great entombs, but the focus firing was so poor that it didn't matter that when they had the entombs and the taunts on those targets, so they're running the Leoric variant, just wasn't good enough. H82 has proven himself now internationally and is the former member of Raven, so now has to, for the second time, face off against his former team here as he sits in the Tempest chair, replacing Modern Life. And we'll see if Raven can put up a fight against this team that's always kind of permanently been number 3 since their performance in Season 2 of Super League for 2016. Beyond that, they've always just kind of been locked in at 3rd place, never able to accomplish anything greater. And I feel like a lot of people forget that once upon a time, this was the best team in the world, because otherwise they've just been so much overshadowed by MVP Black and L5. Eastern Clash was supposed to be their time, supposed to be their moment. They didn't make it to that finals. They fell to the loser bracket finals, but they look strong so far this season, and maybe, just maybe, they could continue to push this forward into a win, you know, taking that playoff win and moving into BlizzCon. Sign looked incredible on the Meridian.
That's right. And if they want to do that, they need to show how strong they are against the weaker teams. They, of course, want to have the 3-0 if they want to climb up higher, even to go to BlizzCon. They have a lot of work to do to catch MVP Black and L5. And Sign his Murden play, and we saw those Qs. He probably had more than 40 stacks in that game. His Qs were insanely perfectly done. He was even prediction Q onto a Tracer. That was a crazy one too.
See if he plays the Tracer again today, as those are kind of his Perma 2 heroes. It feels like Murden and Tracer. As we head into our maps in just a moment. Remember, Tempest, massively the favorites here, and to make sure that they do maintain their spot in 3rd place, they look to take a 3-0 as every other team has against Raven. So I know it sounds sad to say these things, but we have to look at the reality of what this match means. And if you're Tempest, you cannot drop a map here. It could affect your standings. You have to look for the 3-0. And so we talked about possible experimentation. I think we might see a little bit of that in the draft, but beyond that, I think they will take this series as seriously as if they were facing Black or L5, because those points matter so much.
Ooh, and the first map will be Tomb of the Spider Queens, chosen by Tempest. That means first man, first pick will go to Raven. Raven banned out Warhead Junction. For StarCraft map removed. Tempest banned out Braxis. Hold out.
Yeah, normally our writer actually sends me the map beforehand and the map bans beforehand. She stopped sending me the map bans, and I was like, what's going on? But, I mean...
She found the pattern,
She found the pattern. She was like, well, why would I write that every time?
No surprise.
We have seen some kind of wonky map bans out there, and we have seen Raven actually pick the map instead of first ban when they are losing a series, but beyond that, it's been mostly Battlegrounds, StarCraft Battlegrounds removed. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map choice of Tempest, though. They want to bring us here, so this could be a map where we see aggressive tank play. We might see something like a Diablo or an ETC, something that has been run on this map specifically.
There are lots of choices.
Really good here too.
Yeah, that's right, and there's so many tank options these days. Remember the days where ETC and Morden was just insta-picked and just split apart for both teams, or some teams actually took both at the same time, and that was the end of the game. Those were I gotta say, those were the good days in a way, but I like this meta a lot more because even we see Leoric coming into this, especially on Spider Queens, and those entombs have been pretty good.
Raven did draft that just yesterday. Ariel and Genji ban here, so no bait for the Genji by Raven. See if they first pick Garrosh. If they do, I think that their plan is to try to win the early game. It's their opponent's map pick, but you can always play to the strengths of the map, even when your opponent chooses it. Holding it in, though, which is worrisome given that...
They usually do support one and Of course, Uther is open, and it's a given one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit weird that they don't have this insta-lock on this, considering that this is the most common ban rotation of all time. And I suppose I'm thinking about the ifs for what Tempest will pick next. Okay, no one saw that one coming. I mean, you talk about how they often prioritize supports in their first rotation, but Malfurion.
Mal first pick? Is this March 2017? What's going on? This seems very fishy. And I know what's going... I know after seeing that pick, 6,000, 7,000 of you tilted your head saying, hmm? Same for Tempest right now, as you can see. Lockdown on the screen. Why did they first pick Malfurion? That's a little strange.
Now they have to think about the Stitches pick, as they're wondering, okay, are we going to see Stitches coming in with this? Malfurion is Chom's third most picked hero. Has a 0% win rate on it. 0-4. Tass will be the choice. Will it be the Bala? Nope, it's the Tracer. So Sign's Tracer coming in already in this series in game number 1. And hitting a roots on the Tracer of Sign will be very difficult, even if you do. Recall is your way out. Okay, Diablo, we expected something like this from Raven.
Okay, so they wanted the Diablo pair up, but interesting way of drafting,
yeah.
for sure.
Tychus as well, like, where's the justification for the high priority of Tychus here? That's such a weird pick.
It's a weird way of drafting for sure, but Tempest is, I think they're just happy, saying thank you. We get to take whatever we need. And they took Task Tracer already. Banning Leeming seems like a smart idea with that root coming in. With the root coming in and Tychus minigun damage with a ton. With the burst, with the Leeming, they will certainly get picks. So great ban coming out from Tempest, and also Raven going for the support choke since they had Malfurion already.
Rhaegar, not the greatest with Tracer, but will be great with ETC. No, go back to that other skin. The new skin is so good. Vanilla ETC, no. No. Well, Rhaegar will help empower the ETC rotations, and also will have good wave clear here, so that's a good choice over the Kharazim. If Rhaegar had been removed early instead of the Malfurion, I think Kharazim would have been okay for Tempest in this draft because the palms for Hyde are very impressive. Would have been able to keep Tracer alive. But
you're alive?
I'm alive. Sorry, I had to pull the mic away from my ear for a second. Or sorry, my headset away from my ear. Here's the New York again, and Jaina. This is a really specific comp for Raven. It's like they drafted in such a way that Tempest couldn't figure out what they wanted to do.
They are going all in wombo combo.
Yeah.
We're going back to early 2016, maybe 2015, guys.
So they wanted to do the combo. It was impossible for Tempest to predict that that was going to be how they would draft this. So looking for the Entomb with the APOC, with the Ring of Frost. And that is going to be how they try to make this happen.
And a Twilight Dream. Woohoo! And everything will be wiped. But
And Tychus is just like, where's my combo? Just puts a drill. He like puts a drill on the edge of the Entomb so they can't get out.
That's a smart tactic, actually. But ETC, if he gets Crowd Surfer at 4, he can just say, see you guys later, and just escape with a power slide.
I think the ETC, or sorry, the Falstad pick here is really smart because it just ruins the combo. You start to see it getting set up and you just gust. And then you kill the weakened targets, or the isolated targets. So, all right, let's see if this works, guys. Raven has yet again taken a crazy draft, but this draft I can get behind. I could see the idea. I could see the concept. I know it's supposed to be combo-based. This is not the, DeYoung just locked in. Azmodan, he's a warrior, right? No, it's not what this is. This is a real, well-thought-out draft, well-executed in draft. We'll see if it can work. It's very all-in. It's very risky on this map, especially into the ETC comp. We'll see if they can pull it off as we head into game number 1. In blue, Team Raven. With the Wombo combo comp, Darvish on Tychus, Hamlin on Leoric, NMX on Jaina, Diong on Diablo, and Chom on Malfurion.
On the other side, Tempest. Hide on Rehgar Honkono on ETC, Lockdown on Falstad, Sign on Tracer, H82 on Tastar.
Getting us ready for the mage meta? I don't know. When Kel'Thuzad comes out, I think we might see a little bit more Jaina play. Sure. I think we might see a little bit more mage play overall. Already Diong is the one who finds himself caught, though. Went a bit too aggressive. The Blizzard is good. And Honkono could sustain his way out.
But Darvish had to come in. So it's seen a lot of damage, but of course doing damage is good, but if you don't find the kills, you do not get that EXP for killing. Already going to Tempest, and I feel like Raven has a good idea, but from what you see on the other side, the wave clear is okay, not the worst. But you can't really, unless you get the perfect ganks and get the kills, it's really hard to actually have that pressure in all maps when there's an ETC on the other side, the utility with Tracer on the other side. It's so easy to stop all the channeling from happening. I think Tempest will try to snowball from the beginning as much as possible here.
Ooh, Hamlin gets pulse bombed. Sign wants to body block. Look at the power slide. That's a dead Leo. Very well done. We'll see if Hamlin repeats his performance of getting caught on Leoric as he did on this map yesterday. I can't blame him for that one, though. That was just really well executed by Tempest.
But on the other side, Raven should be the ones doing that. They're trying to try to get into those gank attempts. That's exactly why they picked Diablo, not just for the APOC. They want to come in, provide the CC, lock in, and Jaina's burst damage, Tychus. They should be having a good 4-man rotation getting those picks, but Tempest will not just let that happen right now.
Yeah, if Recall is already used for Tracer, there's a lot of different ways you could burst her down, especially if there's no blinks, but, I mean, the roots have to hit. Oh, this is another...
I'm coming in, lockdown.
That was the most obvious attempt I have ever seen. They were in the vent, but like they held a sign up out of the vent that said like gank incoming in 5 seconds. It's like they were all screaming like, "Hey, be careful! Maybe you should go behind your gate." With the threat of a gank alone, though, is what allows them to get this turn in. Their comp is supposed to dominate the early game. And the hope for them is towards post 10, they get a lot of combos off with their heroics that allow them to win the game. If that doesn't happen, though, obviously the late game is way better for Tempest. Falstad's going to scale better than anybody.
ETC crowd server at 4. They know what's up. They know what's going to happen exactly. And that Entomb will be just nullified with that every single time. Hamlin tries to do something, Sign can blink out or even just recall out. There's an attempt again, but did not fully connect onto Lockdown.
There was the trust there, at least, with the root.
Also, Honkono was there, so I don't think Lockdown would have died anyhow. But nice attempts, but they need to get kills, and they're already from Leoric dead. Their rotation has been slow, and it has been slower because of that too.
This is they're dominating the turn-in points, though, and they have really good wave clears. They can just kind of jump from turn-in point to turn-in point, not really missing any experience. And zoning Tempest out. That's really well done by Honkono. Just way one step ahead of Diong there. He's like, okay, you charge in, but I didn't use any of my cooldowns. I'm just going to get out.
Oh, and untouchable for Tracer.
And while all this was happening, Tracer sneaked in and got the turn-in. So this is going to be the first turn-in now on the side of Tempest. As you say, untouchable. A risky choice, especially against this comp. But we'll see if it works out. The comp falls apart if Diablo dies. Leoric could do some peeling, but NMX against a Tracer, how is he ever going to escape? He's never going to be able to survive through that. So, I'm worried about how Jaina is going to fare if the burst comes through onto Diong. Speaking of burst, Hamlin is taken out again in the solo lane.
That's one stack.
Look at all of his gems. No one here to recover them. No one. He lost, what, 20 or so in that? That's so many lost. So painful. Oh, knocked him out of the root. That's not what you want to do.
Uh-oh. That was not the best connection. Chom, this root has been... The positioning of the skill was okay, but slightly late every single time. That was a good attempt. Maybe the next one will get a kill. But this fighter's already got a fort and already onto the keep wall with huge minion wave. They're trying to pressure again with Honkono coming in.
Hamlin is playing with fire. He missed his lifesteal. Oh, look at the cleanse. Lockdown, does he have barrel roll? Guess he doesn't need it. Dynamax misses the shot there. Throws it onto Hyde instead for some reason. I guess he might not have had enough mana for barrel roll.
They try so many times but cannot get the kill. They've tried 4 or 5 times, but no kills because Tempest, they know.
It's so obvious.
It's so obvious they exactly know where they are. It has to be top or mid, but they're staying on top. They will come top. They can give up some gems, but they lost so much.
They control the turn-ins with this, but they don't have enough to turn in because Hammond lost all of his gems. Okay, this is an opportunity. This is a great opportunity. They went way far forward. The root connects here. But still just not enough. Not enough damage. NMX didn't get to use his combo. He has to be able to do that for them to get these kills. It's like stun, root, stun, and then no damage if he doesn't get it off. So, oh well. Honkono gets away. They almost have enough for the double turn, and this would be disastrous for Raven, but Raven can't deny this because they don't have 10. It's actually a stage dive, by the way, here for Honkono. So we'll be able to be a lot more mobile with this. It might be able to ruin the combo or dive into the backline onto Jaina actually before it gets set up. It also allows him to escape and entomb.
Wow.
When no one's there to peel, Jaina dies so fast.
Yep. And also, you could also have a rotation on the other side when you already pushed so far in the bot lane. You can just have ETC down there, join teamfight anytime because Mosh was okay, but there are lots of CC on the other side, so I'm pretty sure he was a little concerned about that. So stage dive seems like a pretty decent choice to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be solid. Hyde's just going to help push this wave out. Just goes Lightning Bond at work. There's the double turn in. Raven didn't even get 9 in the entire time we were talking about this. Just very little experience soaked. So this is going to push the bot one. If Leoric comes up, we'll start to work on the keep wall. The mid fort is the target for Tempest right now. Honkono can always split push top and then come down with a stage dive, so that's where he's going to be right now. We see the Honkono tank flex here, guys. Remember when Sign plays Tracer, Sign is the Tracer player for the team. And because Honkono has professional experience on tank, they can make this flex work. It's not the flexes I complain about when I see teams switching every week who's playing what. This is actually just a real professional tank player who's going to use stage dive for the engage with the gust. Oh, so well done. Triple stun with the power slide. Darvish trying to get the kill onto Honkono, won't be successful. That combo there is the better combo. We haven't seen any combos from Raven. They don't have 10 yet. Tempest just makes it happen. There's the tank experience from Honkono. It's like I'm trying to talk him up and he just outdoes me on camera.
I was wondering why Honkono was staying on top for such a long time, but that was exactly why. He wanted the view of all the other heroes where they were, and nicely done by Lockdown, but initiating with the gust. Wow, Jaina could not do a thing against the Tracer because all those non-target skills are so hard to hit.
Now combos are available for Raven. They're down a talent tier, they're down 3 levels in scaling, but their opponents have already put themselves into a risky position here. Looks like they just want to get the turn in. People thought they might have been able to contest the boss with all the AoE stuns they have there, but they were not willing to take that risk. They're going to go for the fight now here, though. Root is well placed. Cleanse is used on Honkono. But DeYoung is maybe a bit too far forward. It's very low. They have no burst heals with this comp, so he has to be healed slowly. They does survive it.
They can just go clear the boss that's coming up.
Boss is working on the keep wall, though.
I like the fact they're not using and wasting any heroics right now. They're waiting for the perfect moment, and they should.
Okay, but they can't wait too long, though. They're going to have to try to force that moment. Web Weavers are theirs. The boss is still doing damage. They're rotating up to deal with it, which means his Web Weavers will accomplish nothing. Not like they really did sacrifice a whole lot to get these Web Weavers out, though. Only 3 gems turn in for DeYoung, and they have enough for another turn in, so it's not the end of the world. But they need to keep that keep wall alive, or sorry, the keep itself. It does survive with, who knows, I mean, maybe 1% health up there. But at least they got that much. They need to force fights, though, before they end up further behind, as the game will snowball away from them if they can't make that happen.
Yeah, they need to drop the gems that Tempest has right now. Right after this, they can have a turn in, and that will be going for Tempest. They can further snowball the lead, and Falstad is looking for that angle from the top. He wants to fly in, it seems like, or he's just going to clear the top Weaver.
Okay, here comes the attempt. Cleanse is used early, but so much damage on the lockdown. He's dead. Here comes the stage dive, though. It's a 1-for-1. Chom does not have Ice Block here. Ring of Frost used defensively. Entomb is going to hit Sign, but he doesn't care. He just blinks out. Diong is the target here. The Archon is keeping H82 alive. He avoids the Blizzard damage. That's going to be the double kill here. And a 4v5 fight is won for Tempest, taking another kill onto Tychus. NMX, does he get out here? Pulse Bomb sticks, and he is so gone.
How many stacks is that? Probably 10 by now? On Untouchable max
I forgot he
stacks?
took it, but yeah, I mean, I guess.
That's why he was doing so much damage.
Yeah.
Usually, Tracer does not do that much burst damage, but Twilight Dream almost
He has
went
9.
up.
You were
Almost
exactly
went
on the
up.
money.
Yep. Twilight Dream almost went up. I did not exactly see what canceled it, but if it went off, I think Sign could have been a really dangerous position.
Where is Dion even going here? Not to interrupt you, but anyway, continue with what you were saying.
But Raven had a very good chance of getting few kills at least in that fight, but well done by Tempest, whoever stopped that from happening. I mean, I want to watch that replay.
Yeah, I think, you know, it could have been different scenario, but as it stands now, G-Clef, the rare, well, we're seeing a lot more with this team these days, 2 talent tier disadvantage, 16 to 12. That's always where it happens in games like this. That's another stack for Sign, so I think he's on 10 now, untouchable stacks. Near 100% kill involvement for the Tracer.
Even if you have like about 6 or 7 stacks, your damage is insane. If you play some Tracers, you know, of course, do not pick Untouchable though, but
Okay,
you
you might have to use Twilight Dream.
Yeah, there is no way. You can't.
Oh, he just got Ice Block and he couldn't get it.
Yeah, it was cancelled too. It was at the last second.
Just in the last second to get the Ice Block, still couldn't use it. Even if he did, what would it have accomplished? They would just killed him a second later. Web Weaver's pushing down now the core directly from top lane. It's going to be False Dead who's split pushing bot. Hunkono could always start an engage, diving past the keeps to get a pick. No healer on the side of Raven right now, so Diong needs to be careful. Jaina is going to be the target here. Hunkono does stage dive in. NMX is so dead.
Ring of Fail.
Ring of Fail, man. Oh my god, what are we watching? This might be the saddest game of Heroes of Storm I have ever commentated, and I don't mean to speak ill of Raven, but sadly the draft just simply was very all in, and it is not coming to fruition. What their objective was has not succeeded. All keeps down. Short death timer, so it looks like Tempest will back off. A Raven is now 5 levels behind. 5 level disadvantage.
5 level is...
With Tracer's untouchable damage. Look at this. Look at this damage. Look at it. Goodbye, Hamlet. Are you a tank? Nah, I guess not.
The damage is insane with those stacks. It's
the scaling, too. The scaling, the damage, the talents.
What are we watching?
What are we seeing?
Wipe, and NMX does no damage to Onkana with all his armor built in.
Darvish is gonna...
APOC missed.
APOC totally whiffs. Darvish escapes.
CC chain, but Twilight Dream did not go off again.
Cancelled. NMX still surviving here, trying to do as much damage as he can. As Tempest just casually surrounds the core. Look at Darvish. He's got to feel so sad right now.
Oh my goodness.
Another stage dive. Doesn't really matter. The core is under attack. Twilight Dream finally did it.
Oh, Ring of Frost
with the Ancestral.
Hide may go down, but the core may go down right before. Oh, they got a kill at the very end. Nicely done by Raven, but they lost the game. Some
increased KDA across the board after this one for Tempest, you have to think. Sign it the highest possible right now at 6.2 of his teammates, and probably going up 1 or 2 after that one.
Oh my. What a game to commentate. It was fun. I gotta say that was fun, but for Raven's side, lots of questions and lots of cancels on that Twilight Dream. Maybe needs a buff or something.
The idea was good.
Idea was very good.
They lost it in the early game, though. They tried to gank several times with Diong, and he died instead because Tempest was just so ready for it. It was such an obvious old school tactic, like 2015 old school, and they were just like, oh yeah, I know what you're doing. I've seen this before, yeah. I would almost rather had like Tyrande instead of Tychus in that comp.
Yeah,
they
Tyrande
really,
DC.
yeah, like I mean, there's so many different things they could have done instead, but it didn't work out in the end. Is all we could say about that game, as it was a disaster. And it's a comp that if you don't get those picks, if you get that far behind, it just will be a disaster, especially with Untouchable on the other side. It just snowballs against you so hard. On Tomb of the Spider Queen, are you kidding me? That game was over 10 minutes before we said GG there at the end. So
It felt like Tracer was doing percent base damage or something with those stacks. Tracer did not die even once in that game. Those stacks did crazy damage. Leoric probably died 5 to 6 times. What a game. And Tempest just knowing everything, just outsmarting. We could see the rotation from the beginning. Raven still had a chance. Until I gotta say about level 10 to 11, they had a chance, but that cancel on the Twilight Dream was big. Their combo really did not go off at all together. And that was the thing. If you try to combo so many, if you miss even one, and there are lots of tools on the other side that can stop that from happening, then you're outdrafted. And in game, there is a way if you get perfect 5-man everything, but that's not easy.
It's not easy, and Tempest was making it even harder with their positioning. So let's try to put that game out of our minds. Let's try to forget that ever happened.
No, I want to remember that forever.
No, I'm not. What game are you talking about? We're going to BOE, and Raven